On September 16, 2024, YouTube superstars MrBeast, Logan Paul, and KSI announced that they were teaming up for something completely unexpected. The trio launched Lunchly, the grab-and-go meal kits, as a brutal competitor to Kraft Heinz's Lunchables. For parents struggling with school lunches, it looked like a dream come true. But beneath the massive hype, a storm was brewing that would threaten to destroy the brand just months after its release.
My name is Brian. Subscribe now, and let's talk about the story of how three of the biggest creators on Earth built a multi-million-dollar brand and accidentally destroyed it from the inside out. To understand how things fell apart so completely, you have to go back to mid-September. This wasn't just another influencer merch drop. It was a highly calculated retail invasion.
Their announcement made major headlines because it combined two massive, pre-existing creator brands, Prime Hydration Drinks and Feastables chocolate bars. The Lunchly kits came in three main varieties: the Pizza, Turkey Stack'ems, and Fiesta Nachos. Their entire marketing campaign hinged on the claim that their ingredients were significantly better than anything Lunchables offered. Their main selling points were real cheese, electrolytes, and less sugar.
By late September 2024, the creators already had massive leverage. Logan Paul and KSI's Prime Hydration and MrBeast's Feastables were already top-selling items in Kroger and Albertsons. Stores deliberately placed Lunchly directly next to Lunchables in the refrigerated deli section. This was a deliberate strategy designed to force parents into making a direct choice between the two brands, right at the shelf.
While the internet was flooded with hype videos from fans, the trio entirely underestimated the immediate, fierce resistance they would face from parents and other internet figures. Registered dietitian and sports nutrition specialist Destiny Moody released a critique of Lunchly, challenging its marketing as a healthy alternative by highlighting that the meals contain 25% to 35% of calories from saturated fat, exceeding the USDA's 10% recommendation for school lunches. Furthermore, Moody identified that the meals contain 12% to 14% of calories from added sugars, failing the USDA's standard of 10% or less for children's lunches.
The excitement soon turned into a backlash. One viral post on Reddit pointed out that people are finding mold in KSI's new Lunchly product. Someone commented and said, "The mold is the most organic thing in the whole package." Another person said, "Honestly, who eats this shit, let alone is moronic enough to buy this garbage for their kids? It looks disgusting without the mold. It's a lot easier and cheaper to make a sandwich or a bento box with different goodies in it. If you're stupid enough to spend your hard-earned money on this, you deserve all the mold you get."
The online drama turned into a total PR disaster once Dan TDM jumped into the conversation. He is one of the most respected, kid-friendly YouTubers out there, with nearly 30 million subscribers. So when he speaks, people actually listen. He completely shut down the hype by keeping it real, saying, "This is selling crap to kids who don't know better than to trust the people who are selling it to them. Do better."
Unlike the guys who made Lunchly, Dan TDM spent over a decade building a reputation for being trustworthy and genuinely looking out for kids. Because parents already trusted him completely, his post changed everything. He basically called the whole thing a shameless cash grab that was just using kids for their parents' money, and it instantly turned their own fans against them. This soon exploded into a social media thread, with people on Reddit making comments like, "Bro, if Dan's calling you out, you've done something wrong, completely wrong." Another said, "MrBeast is just taking L's day by day."
Instead of taking the high road and handling it like an adult, KSI went on full attack mode. He quote-tweeted Dan TDM with a picture of Dan's own merch and wrote, "Looks like crap to me." But KSI wasn't done. He tried to call out Dan's hypocrisy by bringing up a food box subscription called Munchpak that Dan had promoted years ago. He told people to look up Dan TDM Sweets, pointing out that Dan had tons of videos hyping up candy to his young audience without ever getting canceled for it.
Then he started throwing other big YouTubers under the bus, asking why creators like Ryan Trahan and FaZe Rug got a total free pass when they launched their own candy brands. He completely ignored the actual question whether Lunchly was actually healthy and turned it into a petty fight about who's allowed to sell stuff to kids. He wrapped it all up by claiming people were just jealous of their success, saying Twitter is just a cesspool of the most depressed people on Earth.
The internet watched this whole meltdown happen in real time, and honestly, nobody was impressed. People were calling him out for having an ego so massive that he actually convinced himself he did nothing wrong. But while KSI was busy throwing a Twitter tantrum over toys and calling people depressed, actual medical experts were starting to rip Lunchly's healthy alternative claims to shreds.
However, Dr. Mike, a family physician with a massive 15 million subscriber platform, actually looked at the box, and the whole marketing pitch fell apart. The biggest issue? The math is completely broken for growing kids. According to USDA guidelines, a proper school lunch needs to hit around 625 calories. A Lunchly turkey kit doesn't even hit half of that. It sits at a measly 230 calories. To actually full charge a student for the afternoon, a parent would have to pack nearly 3 of these boxes. But if a kid eats 3 kits, they end up swallowing almost 1,300 milligrams of sodium, which completely overshoots daily safety limits.
On top of the calorie deficit, the food itself fails basic nutritional guardrails. Federal standards say a school lunch should cap saturated fat and added sugars at 10% of total calories. Lunchly blows past both limits, with saturated fat taking up a whopping 23% of the meal. Dr. Mike's final takeaway was brutal but honest. The kit misses the mark way too often to be called healthy. The internet's reaction was just as savage, with people pointing out that calling Lunchly a health food is like swapping a generic cigarette for a brand name one. Technically a change, but you're still putting toxins in your body.
To make matters worse, sports medicine expert Dr. Brian Sutterer exposed their slickest marketing gimmick. The brand heavily hyped the essential electrolytes inside the box. Dr. Sutterer called them out in a viral post, predicting that the way these companies rebranded basic seasoning as a wellness buzzword will be studied in marketing classes for years. He revealed that while real athletes need sodium to rehydrate, the brand swapped it out for heavy doses of potassium, just so they could slap a fancy electrolytes label on the front and trick parents into buying glorified sugar water.
Instead of actually dealing with the science, Logan Paul took the low road and personally attacked the medical expert with a nasty tweet. He literally wrote, "Crazy how even a sports medicine doctor can't tell the difference between sodium and potassium. The referenced 400 milligrams of electrolytes is the potassium in Prime, you idiot." But Dr. Sutterer replied and said, "Crazy how a professional wrestler wants to start a debate with me about his electrolyte drink."
Dr. Sutterer didn't just back down. He dropped a whole video called "The Truth About Electrolytes, Prime and Lunchly" to explain exactly how their marketing team is tricking people. He pointed out that while they brag about having 834 milligrams of electrolytes on the side of the bottle, it's almost entirely potassium because the drink is basically just flavored coconut water.
He compared Prime to a real hydration drink like LMNT, and the difference is insane. LMNT packs 1,000 milligrams of sodium and 200 milligrams of potassium. Prime has a measly 10 milligrams of sodium and a massive 700 milligrams of potassium. Dr. Sutterer explained that when a drink has such extreme numbers, you have to ask if it's even safe or useful. He revealed that Prime completely fails as a functional sports drink because it lacks the sodium you actually need to replace what you lose when you sweat.
The worst part is how they sell it.
They market Prime using elite, professional athletes to make people think it's this amazing wellness beverage for working out, but the science just doesn't back it up. Naturally, Logan's aggressive tweet completely backfired and united the internet against him. People were calling him out for being desperate to defend a health scam and pointing out how wild it is to call a literal doctor an idiot just for stating facts. Just like KSI going after Dan TDM, Logan chose personal insults over actual science.
Dr. Sutterer left everyone with one simple question that completely breaks the product's logic. Do you really think the exact same drink meant to hydrate a UFC fighter, training and sweating for hours, is what a kid should be drinking at lunch while sitting completely still in a classroom? Obviously, those are two totally different scenarios that need totally different hydration, and trying to sell one drink as a magic fix for both is just wrong.
While the creators were busy fighting with doctors on Twitter, the lawyers were already circling. A massive class action lawsuit filed by Lara Vera hit Prime Hydration with a serious accusation: false advertising. The suit claimed that those 12-ounce energy drinks, advertised as having 200 milligrams of caffeine, actually packed between 215 and 225 milligrams. To put that in perspective, that's like chugging 6 cans of Coke or 2 Red Bulls in one sitting.
And that wasn't even the only legal headache. Another lawsuit from 2023 alleged that the grape flavor of Prime contained PFAS, also known as forever chemicals, synthetic toxins that can build up in your body and mess with your immune system. But the real knockout blow didn't come from a courtroom, it came from a kitchen.
Rosanna Pansino, one of the most famous cooking creators on the planet, sat down to film a simple comparison video between Lunchly and Lunchables. She wasn't looking for a scandal, she just wanted to do a blind taste test. But when she peeled back the plastic on the pizza kit, the cameras caught something disgusting: green, fuzzy mold covering the cheese. The worst part? She checked the box, and the expiration date was still 2 months away.
The video exploded instantly. Parents who were already skeptical about the nutrition were now looking at a straight-up food safety hazard. But the internet drama didn't stop there. Die-hard Mr. Beast fans immediately swarmed Pansino, accusing her of faking the mold for clicks. Rumors even swirled that people from Mr. Beast's own team were privately claiming she staged it.
Rosanna didn't blink. She immediately fired back by releasing the uncut, unedited raw footage of her opening the sealed box, proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that the mold was there from the factory. That video was the final nail in the coffin. It proved that this wasn't just internet hate, it was a broken product. Retailers started quietly checking their shelves, and for millions of parents, Lunchly went from cool new snack to health risk overnight.
Everyone on the internet was convinced that the mold scandal was the absolute end of Lunchly. But what actually happened next caught everybody off guard. By late 2024, random store employees started putting up signs marking certain Lunchly kits as discontinued. Influencers were posting videos of empty shelves, and the rumor mill went wild.
People on Reddit were asking, is Lunchly officially dead? The creators haven't posted about it. The official brand accounts went totally silent, and the hype is just gone. Twitter users were having a field day, joking that you can't spell Lunchly without a massive L.
But here's the real story. There was never some dramatic, nationwide FDA shutdown or a massive press release pulling the brand. Instead, it was way more low-key. A few specific kits, like the turkey stack, were temporarily taken off shelves in late 2024 and early 2025, so they could quietly swap out the bad batches and fix the packaging. While some supermarkets dropped them entirely, giant chains like Kroger kept right on selling them. Even as the internet screamed that the brand was dead, you could still buy the kits online.
and they even started popping up in stores like Aldi, only they were priced nearly $2 higher than standard Lunchables. Lunchly technically survived the mold crisis, but its reputation was completely toast. Google searches for the brand completely flatlined. By late 2025, the founders who used to yell at everyone on Twitter suddenly had absolutely nothing to say about the brand's future.
At the end of the day, Lunchly is living proof that influencer hype has its limits. Mr. Beast, Logan Paul, and KSI had the biggest audience on Earth, endless cash, and instant shelf space. But when doctors exposed their health claims, customers found literal mold in their food, and the creators responded with playground insults. Instead of fixing the product, all the celebrity star power in the world couldn't save them. The brand is still breathing, but the empire completely crumbled. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy these next ones as well. And don't forget to subscribe.